Military life is not for the faint of heart, says 34-year-old Kevin McHorney.
It's kind of like no other experience.
The wife and mother of two married 36-year-old Lieutenant Commander Kevin McHorney 5 years ago, and since, life has been quite the adventure.
3 major deployments and 1 forward deployed, so several minor deployments since we've been together, really.
Karen holds things down on the home front while her husband is away, which for a while was often. She became a stay-at-home wife and mother after the birth of her son Morgan.
I am Optimus Prime.
His birth was planned so Kevin could be there, something she says is almost impossible for most military wives. Oftentimes, their deployed husbands miss the births of their children altogether.
There is a lot of support. A lot of doctors will work with you as far as maybe setting up a video camera or setting up Skype in a hospital room so that your husband can be there with you.
But Karen says she's been lucky enough to have Kevin by her side for both births. In fact, Kevin delivered little Emily in the bathroom of their San Diego home just 5 days after he returned from a deployment to the Middle East.
My water broke and she was born about,
I'd say 4 minutes.
it was, 5-7 minutes later she was born.
The labor progressed so quickly, Kevin was still on the phone with paramedics as he saw his new baby girl making her entrance into the world head first as mom stood in shock.
I dove under and caught her on my leg and arm.
Although military life has brought Karen the joy of 2 kids and a loving husband, it comes with headaches, especially the worry of having a husband in a war zone.
I hate it. I don't like the idea of him being anywhere near danger, anybody shooting at him.
Looking back on Kevin's 7-month deployment to the Middle East, she laughs but says at the time it was no laughing matter.
The first time he called, he was going to be staying in a tent in Kuwait out in the desert. And I'm thinking tent, like, 4-man Coleman tent. And he neglected to tell me that it was, an army tent with, the rigid frames and hard canvas sides, lots of guards.
And Karen says she found more relief when she learned the sleeping quarters her husband had in the Mideast even had air conditioning.
So, depending upon how much you talk with your spouse about what they're doing and where they are and how much information they're actually able to give you, sometimes it's a little more stressful.
And for Karen, moving, a common occurrence in military families, is also stressful, particularly when her husband receives word he will again uproot their family, but doesn't get orders for months.
Whoops, that was a mess.
It's waiting for the military to make life happen to you rather than kind of actively going out and doing things.
But all things aside, she says there is certainly an upside to being the wife of a naval officer.
I hate to admit it, I'd never been outside the U.S. I'd been to Canada because I lived in northern Minnesota while I went to college, but that was it.
And in 5 years, the couple and their family has lived in Monterey, California, Japan, San Diego, Leavenworth, Kansas, and soon they'll likely move to Halifax, Nova Scotia.
See the world and somebody else pays for it? I'm there.
And with all of the military formality comes chaos for the families of service members. But Karen says over the years, she's learned a valuable lesson.
You have to learn to kind of roll with it as it comes at you and not, try not to worry about what could happen in the future because it may never materialize. Just kind of worry about what's going on day to day and make the best of it